Sometimes an absence can speak louder than words. At first, you try to ignore it. You set the table as usual, fill the space with small distractions, pour another cup of tea to make up for the silence, but the ache remains. This is the story of a woman who learned that sometimes healing doesn't begin when the pain ends. It begins when you stop pretending the chair isn't empty. The morning light filtered through the blinds. The teacup beside her had gone cold. She looked at the two chairs across from each other, one still neatly pushed in, but the other slightly turned. There was a time when laughter had filled this kitchen, when the air was thick with warmth and conversation and quiet prayers before meals. But now, only silence lived here. Betrayal has a way of rewriting time. The days blur, the nights stretch longer than they should. She didn't plan for the storm that entered her home. The messages discovered, the truth uncovered, the fracture that followed. She believed that love was a promise sealed in trust, but she found herself standing in a life that no longer matched the vows she'd spoken. The hardest part, it wasn't anger, it was emptiness. The quiet kind that creeps in when you realize the person you love the most has chosen to walk away. When the ache becomes too heavy to carry inside, she began to walk. Each morning before the world fully awoke, she would tie her shoes and step outside. At first the steps were small, hesitant, like the heart learning to beat again. But with each mile, something in her began to shift. The rhythm of her steps became prayer. The cool air on her face became grace. And somewhere between the trees and the horizon, she realized she was not walking alone. The same God who had walked with her through her wedding vows was walking with her through the silence that followed. One evening, she found an old Bible on the shelf. The cover was worn, and inside was a note she had written years ago. It was a simple prayer from a younger version of herself. And it said this, "Lord, help me to love when it's hard." She couldn't help but smile through the tears. That prayer had been answered. Even though it wasn't in the way she expected, it was in the way that she needed it. Because love, she now knew, wasn't about holding on to someone who wants to walk away. It was about holding fast to the one who never walks away. Weeks passed, then months. The house began to feel less like a wound and more like a waiting room for peace. She still set 2 plates on the table some mornings out of habit, but the chair across from hers no longer felt like a symbol of loss. It became a reminder that even when others leave, God remains, that His presence fills the space where trust was broken, that His faithfulness does not falter even when human faithfulness does. The chair was no longer empty. It was occupied by grace. It didn't happen overnight. Healing rarely does. But one morning, as she poured her tea and watched the sunlight spill across the table, she felt something she hadn't felt in a very long time. Peace. Not the kind that depends on someone's return, but the kind that comes from knowing you were never abandoned. She had walked through betrayal, but found faithfulness waiting on the other side. She had wept over what was lost, but discovered what could never be taken, the unshakable love of God. And that, she realized, was enough. Friend, maybe you've known the ache of an empty chair too. Maybe your heart has been broken by someone who promised to stay. But remember this, what others walk away from, God can redeem. He sees the empty places, tear-stained prayers, the questions that never found answers, and He doesn't just fill the space, He restores what's been lost with peace that never leaves. When love fails, His love remains. When promises break, His word still holds. And when the house feels too quiet, His voice still whispers, "You are not alone." Friends, thank you for walking with me today. Always remember to listen to His voice and believe that He still walks beside you, one step at a time.